How's it, guys? It's Darksoul Ryusei. It is so good to be back after that long hiatus, but as you will see here right now, it was all worth the wait.
Your sword landed all the way up there? Shoot, I'm sorry. I apologize. I guess my aim was off by a little bit. The look on your face, priceless.
Oh, strange voice from nowhere.
I slipped the stone into your pocket just before we fired you over there. It's no ordinary stone either. I can see what you're doing through this stone, and obviously you can hear me through it. So if you see A flashing, you better press that button.
Yeah, this just spiel about where we can find it, it's no point.
Hey, but listen carefully. I need this back after you save your sister, so don't go losing it, you understand?
So yes, that was the... well, it's a mystical stone or whatever it is. It allows Tetra to actually see what we're doing, as she said. I don't know why they went through all the trouble of telling you where it is on the map, which is why I said it was pointless, or on the map, on the menu. Simply because you can't access it whenever you want. It would be awesome if you could, like, in Twilight Princess, like, you talk to Midna, but you can't talk to Tetra at all. She can only ever talk to you, only when the A button is flashing. But I digress. Now that we have reached the Forsaken Fortress, we need to find our way back up to our sword. But before we can do that, we have to shut off the searchlights. Now you see me looking at that edge over there. I'm gonna fail. This is a little skip that you could do, and I know I promised to do the glitching, or the glitching and the time savers next time around. But a quick jump later. This is my second try, I promise. We actually do get it. I'm really slow to set it up right now, but I just want to do this one time saver, so permit me. As we make our way over here, it just skips 2 loading zones and a whole bunch of times, and as it is, I'm really glad it's actually working out, me speeding this up by 1.5. So anyway, we make our way over to this one searchlight. This is the only searchlight you ever have to worry about. My first time around, I thought you had to get rid of all of them, but you only ever need to get rid of the one that's watching the window where our rail is. Reason being, because if you don't, they'll catch you. Anytime they hit you with the spotlights, you'll be caught. And actually, we're going to get caught on purpose, but only after this. During my little commentary right there, the whole thing's commentary. During that little segment right there, you'll see this Bogoblin's AI is terrible. Every time he goes over slightly, or I go over slightly, his AI just gives up, and see right there, he goes all the way back, and I have to wait for him to catch on again. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to spin, jump him off that higher up right there. For whatever reason, it'll always knock him out, even though a spin attack only does 2 damage, and they take about 5 or so. I go ahead and I jump again. This is because we just need to get caught again, and the reason being is we get put in the cell. Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird, but trust me. So this is a 100% run. We actually do need one thing from Forsaken Fortress, and the quickest and easiest way to get it is this way, by intentionally getting caught and put into the cell. Fun fact, that pot that I broke that I got a blue rupee from, it can have anywhere randomly a green rupee, which is 1, blue rupee, or it's just 5, or even a yellow rupee. And I actually think, I'm not entirely sure if it's this playthrough, because I play this game so many times, that I actually do get the 10 rupees. It might be the second time that we get caught. It's just easier to get back up there. But see, look at these hitboxes. They're terrible. I'm clearly not touching it or whatever. And so as we finally come to this chest over here, we finally reach the one and only piece that we need from the Forsaken Fortress. It is our first piece of heart. In order to complete 100%, we need 44 pieces of heart total. This will be our first one. Hoping those annotations will be just very easy, or not easy, but very clear for everybody as much as possible. I know that Dazzle isn't the clearest thing in the world, but I do appreciate your patience, and I really hope that, I'm really glad I could finally do that. I know it's not anything close to what Chugga does. I think this is the 10 rupees. Yes, it is. But I do try to aspire to be as best as I can. Granted, by this point he does it for a living, which I think is great, but I am doing this just as a hobby. But again, I'm doing the best I can. But now that we've gone and collected the only one thing we need here for 100%, we just go on with the rest of the story. We need to finally make our way up to Aril. Actually, we need to make up our way up to the sword, and then we'll get Aril. You know what? I swear, it must be the speed up. I just quickly show the Forsaken Fortress here. It's just a big pentagon. So It might be the speed up, but I do apologize if I'm talking really fast. It's just a bad tendency. I will learn to slow down. The only reason I did this is because I just feel it's rather needless to go and do this. Rather, just watch everything in normal speed. Because, honestly, I think it was just a great idea. I have actually been able to narrow down the length of the videos so much by doing this. And it's really not so fast. If it was double speed, then it'd be a little bit disorienting. I think 1.5 is just fine. So, but do put in the comments if there's anything particularly major that you guys notice, and I will definitely note it. Okay, so now coming up here on these moblins, because we don't have our sword, they're gonna try and capture us, and we use this barrels the proper way, a la Solid Snake. I would have explained this a little bit earlier, but there's just so much to talk about now that I finally come back after so long. And we finally see where our sword is on that perch up there. There is one more moblin, however, that we have to sneak by. Fun fact, actually, as we exit the pirate ship, and if you keep playing through and not save and quit like me, as soon as you begin, all of the searchlights are on a set path. So that's how I was able to weave through and get all the rupees, the 2 red rupees. And the 4 green ones on the side aren't really a big issue. The searchlights will just never go to that area. I don't know if I do it here, but I do believe I do it on the next area where you have to, what's called sidling. Yeah, I show again that one searchlight that you have to get. It's really funny. If you toggle the control stick back and forth really fast, you can actually get Link's crazy eyes. But on top of that, if you do it just really quick, halfway, you can actually sidle a lot faster. So that's what I'm doing here. And I just thought it was so funny. Alright, as we make our way up here and finally reach our sword, we get our first sub-boss fight. Or technically our... Actually, no. It's our first sub-boss fight. You can tell because of the awesome music that comes in. Oh, I'm pumped already. And we get our hero's sword back. Let's do well not to lose it again. Hey, here's an idea. Let's do well not to be shot out of a catapult again. Tetra, I'm looking at you. Okay, I really didn't want to have to hit him down, because like I mentioned before in the first video, every time they're knocked down, they end up getting invincibility frames, which makes it just that much harder to, or that much longer to beat them. But I think I defeated him in a decent amount of style there. Nice close-up of Link's face. And with that, we have finally reached the top of the Forsaken Fortress. So let's get our sister back and go home. Thanks, guys. That's LP number 2, and I will see you next time for LP 3.
Link? Link! Wake up, Link! Pull yourself together, Link! Well, have you come to your senses yet? You are surprisingly dull-witted. Did I startle you? I suppose that is only natural. As wide as the world is, I am the only boat upon it who can speak the words of men. I am the King of Red Lions. Do not fear, I am not your enemy. Link. I have been watching you since you went to the Forsaken Fortress to rescue your sister. I understand how your desire to protect your sister could give you the courage to fearlessly stand up to anything. But such a bold attempt was foolhardy. I suppose you saw him, the shadow that commands the monstrous bird. His name is... Ganon.
Dwarf.
He who obtained the power of the gods attempted to cover the land in darkness and was ultimately sealed away by the very power he hoped to command. He is the very same Ganon, the
Dwarf.
Emperor of Dark Realm of ancient legends speak of. I do not know why the seal of the gods has failed, but now that Ganon has returned, the world is once again being threatened by his evil magic. Tell me, Link, do you still wish to save your sister from him? And will you do anything to save her? I see. In that case, I shall guide you as we go forward, advising you on what you should do and where you must go. Ganon cannot be defeated by human hands, let alone by what little strength you possess. The key to defeating Ganon is locked away in a great power that you can wield only after much toil and hardship. Do you understand? In that case, we depart to the Great Sea. But I am getting ahead of myself. This is actually a bit embarrassing for me to admit, but although I am indeed a boat that possesses the power of speech, I possess no sail. And a boat with no sail can sail no seas. I have brought you far to the east of the dark gates of the Forsaken Fortress. On this island is a town of merchants who deal in a wide variety of goods. If you search hard enough, surely you can find one who will sell you a sail. I am sorry to ask this of you, but without a sail, I will be useless to you. This island of merchants is home to many valuable goods. While the sail must come first, do not feel limited by buying only it. Once you have it, feel free to stock up on anything else you might need. But remember, we have little time to play. Come back here immediately as soon as your errand is done.
What? Oh, we failed to save our sister. Oh, well, okay, game on. So, this is Windfall Island. This is our main marketplace, I guess you could say. I suppose some games do tend to come with their own central hub of trading and whatnot, where you get your goods, and honestly, where you're going to get most of our items that we need to complete the 100% run. But first things first, let's go ahead and get that sale. Now, it might seem a little bit cryptic as to where you're supposed to go for that sale, but if you go talk to this suspicious-looking guy, he says that he came, or his story's a strange one, he came from a very strange land to Windfall, and that you'll notice really early on right now that he only ever mentions that in red, and of course anything by now you've noticed in red text is something of interest or something important that you should pay attention to, but of course he's not specifying what that is, so this is totally the game messing with you, but don't worry. If you actually take the time to read the text, it could either be... I tried narrowing it down. I suppose it could be something else, but it's pretty obvious it's the sale. And 80 rupees sounds just fine. With the 100 rupees we got at the very beginning of the game, that leaves us with 20, but we got plenty thanks to collecting certain things all the way. And so we now take that. Yes, it's the sale. They wouldn't troll you that bad. Although I have to admit, as far as the pictographs are concerned, they certainly trolled us enough. But more on that later. So he actually mentions here, also in his text, that he can now start opening his business, and that's also required for our 100% run. But more on that in our second visit to Windfall. Now, there are certain pots that are going to be scattered around Windfall, and I actually paused there for a second because in certain pots, there's guaranteed to get 5 rupees, which is the blue ones right there, but in some cases, a very rare drop from that first one, 20 rupees, is nothing to sneeze at. Another thing you might not notice is that here in this little side game, You have a little model of the pirate ship, oddly enough. Behind it, there's 3 10 rupees, so you get another 30 rupees. And we're actually going to need these because we have to play this game in order to finish 100%. This over-enthusiastic guy for his job says it's 10 rupees to play a game, and he, well, thinks he wants to get in on the voice acting here. I did want to do something for this guy, but I really don't have it in me for the really awkward French accent, and his grunts kind of do it enough as it is. Long story short, this is Battleship, or Battle Squid. There's 3 squids you have to hit, 1 4 spaces long, 1 3 spaces long, and 1 2 spaces long. Now, just take in those awesome sound effects. Now, I actually got really lucky here. I will admit, my first time recording this segment of the game, I had a really big problem because this game just trolled me so hard. Yeah, like the first time right here, I'd miss it by 1. Now, there's a few things we can do here. You see there's a high score up there. Well, we actually have, like, what, 30 shots? Now, you get a prize for beating the game, period, but you get another prize on top of that for beating the high score. Now, I thought I was going to have a nightmare of a time like my first time recording this and having to speed up and cut things up so many times, but lo and behold, my second time, I actually get it, so thankfully I don't have to skip anything. So yeah, talk about lucky. So not only are we going to get 1 thing for our, not only going to get 1 treasure, but we're actually going to be getting 2, both of which, of course, will attribute to our 100%. And we get our second piece of art. We're just on a roll today. Well, 2 out of 44, so we got plenty to go. Oh, what's this? Yes, 19. We have beat the record, and because of that, we get our first treasure chart. Of 61 sea charts. You see the annotations up there. Yes, of course, for the definition, we have to get all 61. That being said, I'm not entirely certain. Somebody correct me if they have a know-how about this in the comments. Now, I would imagine that you have to just get the treasure charts and not have to get whatever treasure they lead to. Let me explain. Some of the treasure charts do actually lead to pieces of heart, which we need to get 100%, which is understandable. We have to get those. But some of the treasure charts also lead to money, so I'm not entirely certain if we actually have to get the money in order for it to count, though we do mark it on the sea chart, so it's up for debate. There is one final thing we have to do here on Windfall, or rather that we need to do here. We can, and we might as well do it right now, and this creeper over here is known to many as Tingle. Actually, he's probably known as many other things, all of which I probably won't mention right now, otherwise my video will get removed on YouTube. And so, in order to let this weird guy out, I know it sounds weird, but we have to, you just go over to this button over here, and we unleash hell upon the world. Or rather, our world. Or rather, our wallet. This will all be explained later. I was gonna try and have a voice actor for Tingle. I couldn't do it. I couldn't find anybody. I promise I will try to find somebody, but I don't know anybody who would actually want to. Yeah. It's just look at him, okay? Anyway, we got the Tingle Tutor. This is completely useless for us right now, but you all know how I am with keeping in the know about speedruns. This is just really, really useful. So much so that it has its own category for it, for its use. Now, Tingle's going to tell us that because he loves fairies so much and that we do in fact look like a fairy. Well, I guess we look like an elf more than a fairy, but whatever. Actually, here it is. I was getting ahead of myself. Yes, he calls us Mr. Fairy. You'll come to his island, don't you? Don't you? Stop being so insistent. It's making it worse. Hey, we got Tingle's chart with this. It doesn't lead to any treasure. In fact, it leads to a nightmare. It leads to his island. But thank you, Miyamoto. We must now go to Tingle because, as he emphasized here, if we need any help with charts, we must go to Tingle. If you ever need help with charts, don't forget it. Yeah. I would imagine if I was going to actually do his voice acting that it would just break there to just the obvious serious undertone about how much you have to go to see Tingle and how much of it... No, never mind. You do have to see Tingle in order to finish the game. You do have to visit him on his island because you will, no matter what, need help with 7 particular... Actually, I take it back. Is it 7? Oh, shame on me. I forgot how many charts exactly we need to give to Tingle, but we will have charts that we absolutely need Tingle's help with. Mind you, that help will not be free, and that's why I said it'll be nightmare for our wallet. Now, again, our wallet is only at 200 right now, still the smallest wallet, nothing bad. Now, we're in this maze at the back of Tingle's cell. This is also for 100%. In order to get 100%, we need to finish what's called the Nintendo Gallery. We'll get to that a little bit later. Not too much later, but later enough. We finally make our way back here, and just because, I don't know why, just first time I found it, I wasn't really all that lost, and thankfully I wasn't. I just realized it's all the way to the very back to the right. But in order to finish the Nintendo Gallery, we need to get pictures of them. And in the Zelda universe, we have the Picto Box to get pictures. Unfortunately, this is just a regular Picto Box. I will emphasize this a little bit more later, but the pictures can only be taken in black and white right now, and we need to be taking them in color. We will be getting to that a little bit later. I get caught by the rats here on purpose. Anytime you fail to do that in the maze, they'll kick you out, but that serves our purposes just fine, because it'll take us right to the King of Red Lions.
That look in your eye. So, you found yourself a sail, have you? Very well. Then I shall teach you the art of sailing. Did you understand all that? Ah, one more thing. When you are out at sea with few landmarks to go by, you'll be at the mercy of your sea chart, and I have marked a place we should be currently heading for on your sea chart. If you get lost at sea, simply press up directional to open the chart and confirm your position. Now, a westerly wind blows. Hop in and let it carry us to the east.
And as he said, we will go ahead and make our way east. That wasn't the game's fault. It didn't just go on a track and just speed through all that text about how to sail. There's really no need, since you guys will be watching and I'll be playing. It's very simple once you get the hang of it. You see that yellow arrow in the back there? That's the direction the wind is blowing. Obviously, you want to go ahead and set your sail before you can actually move fast. You can cruise, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. You can see up there at the very top right, if I press R, we can jump a little bit. I think I do it at the beginning of, the end of this video or the beginning of the next one. But I digress. With this, we have finally finished this part, and I'll see you guys next time.